Should I say the date?
Sure.
All right, today is Christmas Eve, 2015. I'm here with my granny. I have a few questions, like what year were you born?
I was born 19 and 30,
Okay, on what date?
November 22nd,
Where were you born?
Bradford, Arkansas.
Okay. And what is your first, most vivid memory?
Oh gosh.
What's one of the memories you can think of from your childhood that was your favorite? I think it's part of
Making my own playhouse.
Really?
And we didn't have bought dishes like they buy now, little toy dishes.
Mm-hmm.
I would take my mother's broken glasses, dishes, and I would use that for my dishes.
Yeah. What advice did your grandparents or parents give you that you remember best?
Hmm. To go to school and learn as much as I could.
Smart advice. Who was stricter, your mother or father? Do you have a vivid memory of something you did that you were disciplined for?
Oh yes. I was all the time getting in trouble, and my father used a razor strap
Ooh.
that they used to sharpen razors on,
Mm.
and my mother used little tiny keen switches.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
See, I never even get the belt anymore. The belt's outdated now. Now it's just, give me your electronics, go sit in the corner.
Yep, well, mine was the razor strap and switches.
Ooh.
And we had fireplace, and the switch always laid up on the mantle of the fireplace.
Mm-hmm. Ugh. That must hurt. How did your family earn money? How did your family compare to others in the neighborhood? Richer, poorer, or the same?
We were all poor families back in my age, and we raised cotton, and we would pick the cotton, take it to the gin, and we'd get money out of that.
Was it hard work?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard work picking cotton.
Did your hands ever get really dry and like?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And with the cotton bowls, they have little sharp places on each little place where the bowl opens up. And when you go in to get that, if you're not careful, you really stick the end of your fingers on them. Yep.
Oh, I'm glad they have machines for that now.
Machine picks the cotton now.
Yeah. Did you have any heroes or role models when you were a child?
Not really.
None? You didn't have a famous singer that you looked up to, or one of your relatives that you wanted to be like?
Yeah. I had an uncle that I thought a lot of.
What was his name?
Pete, Hanky.
What did he do that you looked up to?
Oh, he was just a likable person.
Yeah.
That's about all I can say about him. He was, he was just a likable person.
What big world events do you remember from the time you were growing up?
What was it?
What big world events do you remember from the time you were growing up?
I don't remember any.
Like, do you remember anything that was like going on anywhere around the world that was everyone was like, oh my?
We didn't have, when I was growing up, we didn't have radio, we didn't have TV. We didn't have any of that kind of stuff.
So you don't remember?
We didn't hear any news or anything.
So you don't remember any of this?
Pardon me?
So you don't remember any of these? All right.
No, I don't.
What inventions do you most remember?
What inventions? Going to the cotton gin, I guess, and watching them gin the cotton. Take the seeds out of the cotton.
Yeah. What's different about growing up today when you were growing up from when you were growing up?
Oh, gosh, there's so much difference now that I couldn't even tell what all the
Basically
difference
everything?
would be. Pardon me?
Basically everything?
Basically everything.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I was on a farm. We raised our food and we raised the garden. My mom and Granny canned everything for the winter.
Yeah.
So it was nothing like it is now.
Yeah.
We didn't go to the store and buy stuff.
All right.
Well, now in the fall, my dad would go to the store and he would buy enough flour and sugar and meal to last through the winter.
That would be a lot.
Yeah.
How did you guys have did you guys have a storage room that you kept all that in?
We had, we called it a smokehouse because that's where we kept the meat.
Yeah.
And of course my dad always raised hogs. He would kill the hogs, we would have our own meat.
All right.
And the chickens, we had our own eggs.
Mm-hmm. My neighbors do that. It's kind of
And
interesting.
it is.
Did you guys let your chickens just roam free around your yard?
Mm-hmm.
My question is why they didn't run away.
They don't.
I know.
And we had a hen house, and we had bars in it, so they could get up on it and roost at night.
Mm-hmm.
They would always go to that hen house, get up on the roost.
Maybe they know the fox will get them if they run. Yeah, my neighbors' chickens, they just sit and they walk around their yard. Their house is real close to the road, too, and the chickens know not to get in the road. They know not to cross the road. Otherwise, I would ask them a few questions.
Mm-hmm. Well,
There's only once we found a chicken in our yard, and it wasn't even theirs.
with our chickens, my mom would always set the eggs. One of the hens would always want to set after they laid for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Then they want to set. So she would mark eggs and put them under. And then the eggs would hatch, and then they would raise the chickens.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when the chickens would get old enough, they wanted a fryer. They'd go out, catch the chicken, bring it, kill it.
Yeah.
And we had our own chicken. We didn't go to the store and buy chicken.
I guess it's good not to attach to them then.
Yeah, you get too attached to them.
Yeah, my neighbor's got a chicken. He got real attached to, and it just died one day because of old age. It was like a deformed chicken,
Oh, okay.
and he named it Chicken Hawk.
Mhm.
And he would walk in the house with it sometimes. His parents loved that chicken, but he just disappeared one day.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Were there any phrases that were popular when you were a teenager?
Not that I went to.
Do you remember any?
No.
So you don't remember anything that people would just walk around town like?
We didn't go to town.
Or in school?
Not really in school. I went to a country school until 8th grade. Walked to school.
How long of a walk was it?
Probably quarter of a mile.
I mean, like walking down the street.
Oh yeah. It was I didn't even walk. No, it was more than a quarter because it would have been a quarter down. But I didn't go down the lane and up the road. I went through the path.
Did you get married? How old were you? Where were you married? I'll ask you the rest after this. You got married.
I was 16 when I got married.
That's early.
That's young.
Do you remember where you got married?
Waterville, Michigan.
What was your wedding like?
Just in my sister's house with the preacher there, and my sister, and brother-in-law, and mother.
That was it?
That was it. How
many times were you married?
One.
Okay. Which do you think you have the most talent of? Which do you think you have the most of? Talent, intelligence, education, or persistence?
Talent, I guess, and the only talent I have is sewing.
So how has that helped in your life? Repairing clothes?
Yeah, making my own clothes and making my children's clothes when they were small.
Yeah, I like sewing. It helps us because we lose buttons a lot, and some of them just like fix it. It's broken. And then she gets mad because sometimes I forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, well, it's ruined now. The button's lost.
I still like to sew.
One of my favorite things about coming here is you guys sew with me. Yeah. Who are 3 people in history you admire most and why?
In history?
Uh-huh.
You mean like a history book or family or?
Like, I think a history book.
I did not like history in school. I didn't, honest. I couldn't even tell you anything about history. It's been too many years ago.
Christopher Columbus. I won't tell.
I couldn't understand you. I couldn't hear you.
Just say Christopher Columbus. Because he found America.
Christopher Columbus.
And that's
the main one.
Yep. She likes him most because he discovered America. What have been the 3 biggest news events during your lifetime and why?
The biggest news event?
Yeah. Anytime throughout your lifetime. It could be something that happened just yesterday, something that happened the day you were born. But I don't think you're going to remember that.
Well, one of the biggest events, no, that wasn't way back then. The events when I was...
Do you remember anything that's happened recently?
Yeah, when my daughter and husband was almost killed on their motorcycle wreck. Your grandma and grandpa.
Yeah, that was a bad day.
That was really something.
That was terrifying.
You bet it was.
I remember my parents like pacing around the hallway and like in full on hysterical mode, and I remember walking out of my room like, what's going on? And Mom just getting on her hands and knees and just praying, and I was like, something bad's happened. And they told me, and I just remember like sitting in the middle of the floor and just like kind of just blankly staring at a wall as my parents were just grabbing everything and getting in the car and driving.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that was scary. I remember when we walked in there too, and Papa was awake, but Nana wasn't. And I remember Papa just continuously crying and asking, "Where's Nana?"
Oh.
And I remember that breaking my heart. And then when Nana first woke up, I kind of just walked into the room with my head down, and Nana just going, "Tristan Lee." Out of everybody in the room, she goes, "Tristan Lee."
Oh.
And I just looked up, and I saw her there, and I remember being so happy. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I remember her nail polish wasn't chipped. And so I remember going, "Hey, at least your nail polish isn't chipped." And like the whole room just, including the doctor, I felt pretty proud of that.
Yeah, that was really something that was scary.
Yeah. Did you hear about the Paris bombing?
Oh. That one, now the latest that I have saw on TV, and this is not way back though, this is
Yeah, this can be like whenever, the news events can be whenever.
this was when the motorcycle went through this, there were 6 soldiers, and it blew up, killed the 6 American soldiers. Right close to Christmas time, and that's so sad at a holiday.
Uh-huh. That's what got me pretty bad about the shooting at the school,
Oh,
Sandy Hook.
goodness.
That got me bad. My mom was like, "Just can you imagine all those presents under the Christmas tree that won't be opened?"
Mhm.
That got me. I was like,
Yep. Yeah, there's some sad things that come on TV.
yeah.
Now that I get to watch TV, not that not that I couldn't have it when I was growing up.
Yeah. What day did you like get a TV? Like, do you remember like how old you were when you got a TV?
I didn't get TV until after me and my husband was married. Moved from Michigan back to Arkansas.
So like 17-ish?
At least.
Uh-huh. What is the most memorable phone call you've ever received?
Most memorable phone call. That my children were all going to be home together.
When was this?
Probably since I've lived down here.
Yeah, we enjoy it down here. I enjoy just walking in. Granny!
Oh, I enjoy it so much.
Yes.
Get to see everybody.
Yes, I enjoy Christmas time.
Mhm.
We're all, I don't know what it is about being cramped into a small room with all of your close relatives. I don't know what about it is, but it just kind of like makes me happy.
It's good.
Even though it's all like tight and packed and everyone's like real sweaty because it's so hot in there now, and so everyone's like, and I'm just like, and someone's getting up to like leave, and I'm like, no, stay, sit down. What things frighten you now? What are your fears?
Storms.
Storms.
And with the electricity going off.
Yes, the one yesterday. Did you guys get the crazy storm yesterday?
Oh, it rained.
Ella and I were home alone. Yeah, my mom was at the grocery store. My dad was on a road trip home when all this was happening, and I remember sitting like laying on the couch just watching TV, hearing seeing the whole room, like all lights were out because I don't like lights on when I'm watching TV, and just the whole room just lighting up.
Mhm.
And lightning coming, thunder going so fast, the house was shaking. Like I was watching my glass next to me shake. And my little sister from Ella, screaming on the other side of the room, comes running in, jumps in my lap, and starts crying. And I'm like,
Oh goodness.
Mom's gonna be home in a minute. And watching, I peered out my window